Have you ever wondered what is the monthly income of a full-time crypto trader? How about I let you have a look into my trading account where you can see day by day how much I am earning as well as how much I am losing. Because the reality is that you cannot only make money, right, every single day, some days you're gonna be losing money. So if you are thinking of pursuing this, if you are thinking of becoming a full-time crypto trader yourself, well, it's really a good idea to watch this video so you can get an expectation of what it is like. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the action. This is my Binance account. We're gonna look at the month of November. So starting November 1st to the current day, November 11th. Here is an overview of the results. So total profit, which is equivalent to like gross profit in other types of businesses, is $11,519. By the way, don't let this confuse you. This BNFCR, this is equivalent to a US dollar. So one BNFCR is equivalent to like $1. It's just, I'm from a country from the European Union, right? And Binance is heavily regulated here, right? So that's the case. Anyways, gross profit $11,519, loss almost $300. You guys have to understand that you cannot only win in this business, right? You will have losses. Losses in trading are basically the expenses to run this business. When you run a business, it doesn't matter what type of business, right? You always have expenses. There is no business where you're not gonna have any expenses, right? And you're just gonna have profits flowing in. In every business there are expenses, and in this specific business, your losses are the expenses as well as your trading fees and your funding fees. To get your net profit, it's a very simple calculation. You just get your gross profit, you minus your expenses, and this brings us to $11,219 in net profit. Now, I want to give you guys the full picture because the reality is that it's very freaking important how much capital you are working with. If you are working with $1,000, well, it's gonna be very hard for you to make $11,000 in like 11 days, right? But if you have more capital, it's gonna be doable. So let me give you the complete picture. I started the month with $44,000 on this account. Now you can see the balance is $55,000 because this is already with the profits included. But at the beginning of the month I had like 44k here. So now I want to bring the good old calculator and calculate the percentage profit because this is the reality what is important for you guys to get. So $11,219 profit divided by 44, roughly $44,000 in capital. That's like 0.25, that's like 25% profit on my capital in like 11 days. 25%. I want you guys to remember this number because we're gonna be using it to do some calculations. Like I mentioned earlier, if you are working with $1,000 only, right, you can't expect to make this number. Actually, let's calculate how much I was going to make if I traded with $1,000 in these 11 days. So $1,000 times 0.25, I was going to make $250 for these 11 days. If I had traded with $10,000, obviously I was going to make $2,500, but I just want to show you how you can make the calculation so you can figure out what the profit was going to be with your numbers, right? So on a $10,000 account, 10,000 times 0.25, that's $2,500 profit in like 11 days. If you are working with $5,000, that's like $1,250 in 11 days, right? So it's the percentage that is important, guys, right? Because you then get the percentage and calculate the profit based on whatever account balance you're gonna be working with. Now, what's also important for you guys to understand is that even if you have little capital to start, right, you can reinvest your profits, right? And basically you can use the power of the compound interest to grow your account much faster. Because let's say that you have $1,000 and you make 25% in 11 days, which is what I did. Well, the good news is that in less than 2 weeks, you guys are gonna have $1,250, right? So instead of withdrawing your $250, right, you can just reinvest it back into the account. Because if you then grow your account by another 25%, the profit is gonna be $312, not $250, right? Because you are trading with a bigger account balance. So once you do this, your account balance then goes to $1,562. If you do it one more time, it's already $390 profit, right? So if you keep reinvesting your profits back into your account, sooner rather than later, you guys are gonna have much bigger capital than you originally started with, and therefore you'll be able to earn more. Now, that's for the one of you who are gonna be starting with small amount of capital. If you have this amount of capital, you don't have to reinvest your profits if you don't want to, right? So if you have like $20,000 and you make 25%, that's $5,000. Now, of course, if you reinvest the profits, right, your account will grow much faster. But you guys want to trade full time, you probably want this to be your main source of income. So you definitely gonna have to withdraw some of these profits to cover your expenses. Now I want to show you my results day by day, because there is something very important that you guys have to understand. Trading is quite different from a regular 9 to 5 job, right? Trading is more like a business. In a regular 9 to 5 job, you get paid the same amount every day, right? So you have a fixed income. In trading, it's quite the opposite. You guys can see here that, for example, some days I make nothing, right? So on the first or the second, I made nothing. On the third, I made $90, right? So some days I make very little money. Other days, I make a lot of money. So on the 11th, I made almost $6,000. I made $5,920, right? So you're gonna be making different amounts every single day. But once you do this long enough and you actually keep track of your results, you will find out that it is a little bit predictable, right? I mean, on a monthly basis, you can kind of expect a little bit what your income is going to be at the different times. Even on a daily basis, you can get an average number that you can expect. But again, average is different than what's going to be happening in reality, right? Because you can see that my average here is $1,400, but the reality is that not a single day out of these 11 days, I actually made this number $1,400. Right, so again, average is average, right? This is just to give you an idea. The reality is that every day your income is gonna be quite different. Some days you're actually gonna be losing money. You see here on the 4th of November, I lost almost $300. And again, this is inevitable, guys. You have to learn to embrace this, because it's just, you can't avoid it. By trying to avoid it, you're actually gonna end up losing more. So instead, you have to understand that this is inevitable, right? And these are just the expenses that you have in order to run your business. If you guys need help becoming a full-time trader, you can go to our website, sasincome.com. You just type sasincome.com in the browser and you will land straight on our website. We have a mentorship program which does exactly that. It helps you become a full-time crypto trader. We have some free materials too, so you guys can take advantage of this. This is pretty much the best opportunity to make money online nowadays, so pursuing it is definitely a great idea.